Welcome to Healthy and Empowered with Adrienne and Friends. I'm your host, Adrienne Spencer London. We recently just completed our series on detox. Now we're going to enter into new episodes where we are going to focus on healthy nutrition for peak performance. With me today is my friend, Lori Gerbero. Lori is master trainer and nutritionist here at Club Metro in Old Bridge, New Jersey. Lori is going to be sharing with us some tips on eating healthy and exercise and just ways that we can stay healthy and fit. Lori, when people think of healthy nutrition for peak performance, many times they think of Olympic trainers or professional athletes. However, just all of us want to know what we need to do to eat right, to stay fit. We want to be that example of that fit lifestyle. What suggestions do you offer?
Well, I've been in this field probably 30 years now. And in the time that I've been in this field, there's a lot of people that I deal with and I train and I talk to who have nothing to do with athletic performance, who are just looking to better their quality of life, to be able to kind of sustain their energy all day long, because, you know, it's a crazy world right now, especially for women, because we're trying to juggle jobs and families and just everyday chaos that comes in our life. And everybody knows we all have that middle of the day where we kind of slump off, and then we grab the wrong thing. We grab a candy bar, we grab a quick sugar fix, and then we get another 2 hours, and then boom, we drop off again. Well, if you can maintain your energy levels all day long by something as simple as food, which everybody loves food, it's just a matter of putting it together in the right way to maintain your energy throughout the day.
Okay, so you're talking about food. I know there's a lot of questions around about what are the types of foods that we need. You hear talk of high protein, good carbs, good fats, bad fats. Just give us some light on what is a good basic diet.
Okay, good basic diet is balanced. You know, you can't, I know there's a lot of things out there right now about carbs are bad, protein is good, fats are bad, carbs are bad. You know, there's so many things out there, and every day there's a different diet being thrown at you, and I hate the word diet, and I don't believe in any diets whatsoever. It's a lifestyle. It's a way to live, the way everybody should live. And for my one rule is if you can't get it from the source that it came from, if it doesn't look the same as when you picked it or you got it from the ground and it's all processed down and put in a bag, you don't want to go for that. Okay?
That's important, because we just finished our detox series.
Right.
And if we're going to focus on putting the good foods back into our body, we want to make sure that we're putting those things that aren't going to impact or hurt our immune system. We want to stay healthy. So what is a recommended, or are there recommended, like protein requirements for men or women, or what is considered a good protein, or is it high proteins, low proteins?
For me, the closest thing that ever came about was something in that zone diet. I don't know if you're familiar with the 30-30-30 kind of thing.
No, I'm not. What's that all about?
There's a balance between carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Now, I'm a little different, where they were saying 30% carbohydrates, 30% proteins, 30% fat, where I'm more on the higher, a little bit higher carb, and don't everybody get all crazy on that.
Okay.
But it's 40 on the carbs, 30 on the protein, 20 on the fat, 25 on the fat. And the fats, you have to have fat in your diet. Fat is not the enemy, it's just the source that you're getting it from. So you want good, clean fats. You want that coconut oil that you hear a lot about, red palm oil, olive oil. Olive oil is huge, everybody knows about the olive oil.
What's a good fat? People think that by taking in these fats, it's going to make them fat.
No.
So by taking in these...
If you take in things that are natural fats, that are good fats, omega-3s, omega-6s, a balance of those, like nuts, per se, walnuts, pistachios, almonds. You know, everybody's big on the almonds, but walnuts actually have a better fat ratio and a healthier fat ratio than some almonds do. And you also want to get them raw. You don't want to get them where they've been toasted and they've been broken down. When you heat up a fat, you break it down, it becomes carcinogen, it becomes cancerous, it's a rancid fat.
It's
you
processed.
You never want to heat a fat. You know, you want to buy it raw out of the shell. You know, you can have it already shelled for you, but you always want to buy raw. And now, if you ever heard the term sprouted, sprouted is like the next big thing. And they sprout the nuts, they sprout the vegetables, and basically what they're doing is they're growing it in water, and they're picking it young like that, and it's sprouted. And you have all your enzymes and nutrients intact, because it's pure. It's in its purest form. So you want to look for things like that. Now I'm sure Sprouted is popping up all over the place, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard of that by now.
But not everybody.
Not everybody, correct.
What other types of fats are there?
Beyond nuts, which is easy to get, you can also eat it in fish, which is salmon and halibut and all the kind of oily fishes, tuna. You can also get it in, animal fats I'm not a big fan of, but I'm not saying don't eat a steak. You want the leaner portion of that, but there's going to be some fat in there. You want to keep your saturated fats down to like 10% of your fat intake. You want to keep it pretty low, but you have to have some fat in your diet, and you should get about 20 to 25% of your overall calories from fat in your diet.
And also, some of these fats even overlap with some of the protein requirements also.
That's right. You could find some healthy fats in your protein as well.
Okay.
Chicken breast is not fat-free. There's going to be 2 or 3 grams in every 3 or 4 ounces of chicken. But it's a good fat. It's not a saturated fat. It's not a bad fat. It's a good fat. You're going to find it in grains as well. You're going to find it in your quinoa. You're going to find it in your oatmeal. It's lower, and it stays low because the grains are fibrous and they kind of keep the fat content low. But you're going to find fat in almost everything you eat.
Okay. What about the proteins requirements? You were talking about a balance of a certain amount of carbs and proteins.
Carbs and proteins are your main sources that most people are familiar with, and are never sure what they should be taking in. If you listen to the RDA, they're saying 60 grams of protein a day is all a woman needs, and don't go with that because that's not true. You can only assimilate maybe 30, 40 grams at a meal, which we never eat that much anyway.
Okay.
But you want to keep it about 40%, 30% of your calorie intake is going to be in protein. Now protein, great sources of protein, again, are going to include fish, chicken breast. Don't be afraid of the dark meat. There's only 1 extra gram of fat in dark meat than there is in light meat, so you can have your fats from your chicken. You can get it in rice and beans. Beans have a lot of protein as well as carbs. So you can get it in sources that you wouldn't associate protein with per se.
So we've covered the basics on how to have healthy nutrition for peak performance. Good carbs, fats, and proteins. Lori, how did you get started?
I've been in this business almost 30 years now. Mostly I've been an athlete my whole life. I've always practiced good nutrition. Even as a child, I was labeled the weirdo who used to read the label. But it always was important to me because I was very small, and I've been competing in a world where I always had to be one step better than everybody else because I was so small. So when I actually became an adult and I started working in the industry, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, not knowing it till it had spread pretty much through me. So in order to kind of get a little power over that, I turned my passion with nutrition and training into bodybuilding, and I became a professional bodybuilder. I won my pro card actually in 2008 while going through some chemotherapy.
Wow.
Very bald, very crazy, and I'm up on stage with the whole world.
Wow.
And I won a pro card then, and I won the world championships, and that kind of drove me a little bit more because now people were coming to me who had the same issues as I did and wanted to learn the things I taught myself and that I learned through this whole process on how to maintain your health even though you're in disease, that you could still have some health and quality of life. So I kind of developed this whole Gerbero method and brought it to Club Metro, which is kind of a wellness center. So it gave me an area to kind of concentrate and have people be able to locate me and find me. And it's a very passionate thing for me to help, even if it's one person at a time, just get their quality of life up there, get better, there's nothing you can't do if you just want to do it. So I kind of brought that whole thing here.
That's
and
awesome.
This is how we are. So.
That's awesome. So your program, is it just for women or is it for men?
No, it's for men, women, children, anybody who's either, you don't have to have a clinical issue. If you're just looking to get a little better personally, there's something you want to do, something you want to overcome, something you need help with. I love doing that as well.
I read somewhere that you even offer programs for the aging community. So as far as women who are going through menopause or men who are going through midlife crisis, a fitness plan. Maybe that's something we could talk on a future episode.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'd like to thank my friend Lori Gerbero, master trainer and nutritionist at Club Metro in Old Bridge, New Jersey, for joining us today. If you'd like more information on healthy nutrition for peak performance, check the description box below. Thanks for joining us.